So first off, we're going to talk about what DID is.
Can you redo that because your voice went really high?
Hello and welcome to Mental Health Monday, where we discuss advocacy, resources, and ending the stigma associated with mental health. I am your host, Amanda, and today we are here to talk about DID and OSDD, which is dissociative identity disorder and other specified dissociative disorders. Today we're going to be talking about not exactly what DID and OSDD are in terms of symptomatically, but we are going to be talking about the importance and the difference between both and the stigma they both face. Because both of these disorders are highly stigmatized and very misunderstood, I wanted to use this Mental Health Monday as a way to advocate for both of these disorders and shed some light on them. So let's start with DID, known as dissociative identity disorder, but formerly known as multiple personality disorder. A key factor in DID is that it has always been known as a dissociative disorder and actually not as a personality disorder. DID is actually not as rare as people think that it is. Most people with DID have a mixture of dissociative and post-traumatic symptoms. They also have non-trauma related symptoms. So what exactly is DID? DID is a psychobiological response to childhood trauma. DID is literally caused by really heavy traumatic childhood abuse and events. It is a coping strategy that our brain uses when we're going through the trauma. So our brains actually separate into different parts to keep ourselves safe. It is literally a powerful tool in survival. Individuals who have DID also struggle with something called dissociative amnesia, where they can not remember parts of their childhood, but also not remember parts of their everyday life, and the amnesia sometimes has absolutely nothing to do with their trauma. It is very unfortunate that dissociative identity disorder is so stigmatized in our society. You can look at films like Split as an example of how difficult it is to beat the stigma around DID. It is so important that when talking about multiple personality disorder or DID, we use the correct terminology. Multiple personality disorder, which is why I'm putting it in quotations, is a very outdated term. So it's really important that you switch to DID or dissociative identity disorder when talking about this. It's also very important that when moving forward, we don't use stigmatizing language like, oh, my multiple personalities, or oh, that was my other personality, because that can be very hurtful to individuals who have experienced childhood trauma and struggle with this disorder. When struggling with DID, it can also be really difficult to get help because sometimes clinicians and therapists still don't believe this disorder exists, even though we have plenty of research, plenty of brain scans, plenty of proof that it does. As always, if you feel like this is something that you struggle with, talk to your care team and let them know that this is something that you're struggling with so that you can get the right help that you need. Now, moving on to OSDD, and it was important for us to talk about DID first because OSDD and DID are similar, except OSDD is like DID, but without prominent showing of alters and without amnesia. So there's an and or. Now, there are many different subsets of OSDD, which I will not go into today. You can do the research yourself because you know, as we always say, don't self-diagnose, talk to your care team, and do your own research. Now, OSDD can have a number of different symptoms, but it is a lot like DID, except not as severe, and it doesn't manifest as intensely as DID does. The reason OSDD is called OSDD is because it is an other specified dissociative disorder, meaning you don't fit into the exact category of dissociative symptoms of DID or depersonalization or derealization. You're somewhere in the middle, or you have a mix of all of them. Of course, I am not a DID or OSDD expert, so it is very important that you do your own research, talk to your care team, and make sure that if this is something that you think you're struggling with, definitely reach out to a professional. As always, remember that words matter, and you never know who could be struggling with something around you. So the next time you feel inclined to say, oh, I'm so multiple personality, or oh, that was my other personality, words matter. Don't use stigmatizing language, and always use person-first language. As always, lead with kindness, talk to your care team, don't judge, and work every day to end the stigma. And join us next time for Mental Health Mondays. See ya. Subscribe. Do it. You know you want to.